Okay, I'm ready to start my project for Country Craft Creations. This is my design team project using the Georgia Blues collection. It's a Prima paper collection. Just wanted to refresh your memory as to what the paper looked like. I'm not going to go through all of it, but just kind of give you an idea of what I'm working with. I decided to do some layering boxes, or book boxes. So I went and purchased some pre-made boxes that are magnetic so that they have a magnetic closure, and they are in graduating sizes. And so I'm going to be putting the three as a stacked set. Inside here is going to be some small tags or stickers or embellishments or something that will go with the other things in the other boxes. This one is going to hold tags. Let me get an example of what the tags are like. Here they are. So these will, nope, that's a lie. These aren't going to fit in this one. By the time I embellish them, it'll be too big, or the tags will be too big. So the tags will go in here instead. So I'll put tags in here. I'll probably put photo mats in here where they can just be put pictures on top of the mats that I put in here. And then here will be little trinkets or something that they can add to the pictures that they put on in the second box. So they are pre-covered, like I said, and before I put the paper on, I am going to use this BoBunny white gesso to cover the boxes. This was in my mystery box from Country Craft Creations, and so I'll put white gesso on it, and then I'll probably put a layer of paint on it on top of that before I put the paper collection on. So I'm just going to use a sponge brush and use the gesso and let it dry, and then I will come back and start putting the paper on. I'm probably going to do some sort of lace or something on the sides. I don't know. I never know ahead of time what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get started. So as far as the measurements go, if you're interested in these boxes, I just picked them up at Tuesday morning. This one is about 6 inches across, and it's 8.5 inches long. This one is about 4 3/4 across, 6.5 inches long, and this one is about 3 inches by 4 inches. So those are the measurements of these pre-made book boxes, and I'm going to go ahead and get them gessoed up, and then we'll get started. The accordion little mini album, it's not even really be an album, it's just going to be a pull out for pictures, and then this is where I'm going to have the little tag book. So it's still going to work out just fine. I have gessoed, like I said, and now I need to go back and I'm going to use some of the acrylic paint, and I've decided on this light buttermilk color. There's a lot of white in the paper, but there's also some of this color, and being the tags are the the beige color, can't think of the word. I'm going to go ahead and use this color instead. Now I don't have to use paint on the middle because obviously I'm going to use paper, so I'm just going to go around the edges with the cream colored paint, and then I'll be ready to start cutting out the paper to then I can start embellishing after that. The paint is dried, and I'm going to go ahead and start showing you how I'm going to start decorating the box. The paint that I put on here, you can still see through a little bit even with the gesso. So what I am going to do is put some of this tape runner. It's gold, and I'm going to put it on the edges of the spine, and I'm going to do that. I already did it on one side. I'm going to do it to the other side, and that's going to help camouflage the paint and the creases. So let me eyeball that. All right. And I'm thinking washi tape would work for this too. This is called actually a tape runner. You might have to adhere it a little bit more than what the adhesive is on washi tape. I don't usually use a whole lot of washi tape. And I'm just going to center this. And I might have to trim some off the edges. All right, and I'm eyeballing it. And I am going to have to trim right here. All right, and I'm just going to push that down. And I still have to trim a little bit. All right. I have my glue gun warming up. All right, so that's what that looks like, that shiny gold tape. So I decided I wanted kind of a distressed look, and so I measured my book and I went with 6 by 8.5. Now you can use the Tim Holtz distresser and go around the edges to distress. I happen to have this, I've had it for a long time, this Zutter Distress It All. And so you just, that's what it sounds like. And you just run your paper through there, and that's a lot faster. So that's what I used to distress the edges. Now I do want some color. I don't want all that white showing. So I am going to use some of the Distress Oxide in Ground Espresso. And I'm just going to kind of dab it. I don't want it to be real solid. And I'll bring some up to the front, not just the edges. On all 4 sides. Just kind of give it an aged look. Just pouncing so that that white core grabs that ink. Now I am going to go around the edge of my book just a little bit too with this. Just enough to give it a little bit of color. I like the aged look. And I'm not bringing it too much on top. So just a slight bit, so you can see. I don't want it to look perfect. Okay. And I'm going to adhere this onto my book like so. Okay. As I was preparing this, I also cut 2 out for the back also. So this one's 6 by 8.5 too. And I already distressed it. I just, with the Distress It All, I just need to add the ink. But I went through some of my laces to decide how I want to decorate the top. So this one is a more subtle lace. It's real thin. I have some of this gold. I think it was probably from my Christmas stuff. I have this. And if I use this, I would probably just cut out the roses because there are roses on here. And I don't know, maybe place it on the spine or along the bottom. But I still want to see this beautiful paper, so I don't want to cover it too much. I have this that I might put on there. And then the other one I saw that I liked was this one. And I adhere my lace with a hot glue gun. So I'm trying to decide if I need something on my spine to kind of cover up that center part. I think that's might be where I use these roses. So if I have it like this, and if I just put the rose trim and then bring it around, that might be what I do. I also have some metals that I could put on the side here too after I put this on. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. I'm going to just use art glitter glue. That will adhere it just fine. I need to break out a new bottle here pretty quick. Yeah, that's not wanting to come out. I've had this bottle for a long time. I need to wash the tip. And I'm going to give it a generous, if it comes out, there we go. Just a generous amount, just so that it adheres real well. It's okay if it has a little bit of a lift to it, because then it looks to me more antique-y for this style. Okay, come on, glue. You're giving me a bad time. Oh, I just totally bent my pin. Time for a new one. Ouch. I need my readers on to get this pin in the hole. That's age. Oh my gosh. Okay. Just trying to I think I might have totally busted that. All right, I'm going to bust out a new glue bottle. I'll be back. I decided to take this trim and divide it. So I cut off the flowers at the top, and then this was hanging from the fringe of it. So I'm going to make this on the top, and I'm going to place these roses on the side, like so. I kind of laid out the other box on top to see what the layout would kind of look like, and I've picked out some pearls that I'm going to be draping off the side. I have this charm that I found in my stash that I'll probably hang somewhere over here. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I just go through my stash and see what I have, and I end up changing my mind several times, but I'm finding things that I like that I think will work. So right now I'm just going to glue this on and this side piece on. So I think I'll do the side first. So I'll just place that like so. And okay, yep, that's a perfect fit. I had to trim it a little bit. And I'm just going to put some glue. You can always go back and add more glue on the edges if it's not laying down enough. Try not to burn yourself. And it's okay if there's a little bit of overhang. We don't want this to be perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to go with my glue gun and kind of hit some of those edges so that they lay down a little bit. Without burning. I have a Teflon spatula I use a lot of times to push things down so I don't burn my hand. That's down. Okay, let me turn it around, make sure this side's down. And go through each flower. Now I am going to have to add some sort of trim, even though you don't see the bottom because it'll be on the table or wherever you're setting it. I still want to have a finished look on the back, so I am going to have to put some sort of flat trim on the back. I'll show you in just a second. Get rid of all those glue strings that drive us all insane. Okay. So yeah, I want something, something flat. I could probably do this on the bottom. I could go lighter, just enough. That's boring to me. Like I said, you won't see the bottom, so I don't know. Oh, I have this. Maybe I'll use this because it's thin. Yep, I think I'll do this because that's just real thin. So I'm going to do that next, and then I'll do the front. So let me measure this out. So you can kind of see I don't have a plan when I start. I just start working and then looking to see what I have. When you start with a good paper, it's easy to do. And I love this Prima paper. Now, I always have a hard time deciding which is the right side on these laces. Alright, so I think that'll look good. So I'm just going to leave it where it's at and kind of get an idea of where the glue needs to go. Okay, so I'll just keep lifting. I am going to have to trim some of this. Okay, I'm just going to run a quick line down here. Line it up. And now I'll go back with the glue gun Make sure it's down on the sides. I hope this isn't monotonous to watch. You can always fast forward, but sometimes it's good to see what people are thinking as they create. You know, a lot of times people think, oh, I don't know how to do that, or I don't know. You just, seriously, you just go with it. I mean, I have no idea what this is going to look like when it's done. I'm just, now granted, I do have a lot of stuff in my stash. That does help a lot. I have a little, my husband would say I have a little Hobby Lobby in my store. I like to say I have a little Country Craft Creations in my house. Oh, I said store, in my house. Alright, so this is just gonna go down here real smooth. I'm just making sure I don't have any loose ends. I do want it to lay flat. And when things aren't perfect, it's totally okay, especially with something like this, because I can camouflage most things. Now when I do the tag book, that I want to make sure there are no errors, because people are going to be looking at that. That's what they're going to take out of this box and look at. So I like to make sure my tags are real good. Now I start to see where I need to put down some glue on some other places. Ouch, that hurt. Okay. All right. Oh my, I just screwed up. This is the front instead of the back. Okay, remember how I said there are no screw-ups? I'm just going to lay this right on top of that. Darn it, I wasn't paying attention. So I'm going to have to do the bottom now. Good thing I have plenty of that. Oh, it happens. Doesn't matter how long you've been crafting, we all screw up. Oh, goodness. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to apply this on the back. Wish I would have noticed that ahead of time. Alright, I'll glue it and I'll be back so you don't have to watch me glue this. Alright, so I started the next box the same way I did the first one. I put that tape, that gold tape along the spine on the edges. I went ahead and inked the edges with the ground espresso to give it that aged look. I've cut out my paper, and I think I'm going to put this one. The measurements were 4.5 by 6.5. And that's what's going to be the cover. I have the back piece that's from the same paper, and then this will be the inside. Okay, now the inside of this one is blue, so that's going to be perfect. Okay, and I'll just glue that down right there. This one, I don't think I'm going to put any fabric or doily lace vintagey stuff, but I'll play it by ear. But as of right now, I don't have plans to put anything in there because I like that blue. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this on. This is the one I want for the front. And I am having a heck of a time with this glue bottle. There we go. Okay. And again, if the edges lift up a little bit, that's all right. It makes it look like the vintagey feel. All right. Get that out of there. All right. Give it a burnish. So you'll see that it's kind of coming up there on the edge. That's totally fine with me. Looks older that way. Okay, now the back is this one. Put some glue on the edge of this one. Come on, glue. is it? I don't know if that'll do that or not. Just when I think it's gonna start having a thicker flow. How about that? All right. And let's burnish that down. Lifting of the corners is okay. Normally I wouldn't want that, but for this one I do. Okay, so you can see it looks rough. So before we glue in the inside piece, I am going to put a knob right here, this Tim Holtz knob that I got from Country Craft Creations. I hope you could have heard me. I didn't have my mic very close. And so I need to get an awl and poke a hole, and I have that. I just need to get it. So I want it pretty close to the edge because I have a frame that I'm going to be putting on here. And so yeah, it's going to have to go about right there. Okay. So I'm just going to poke a hole. Oh, you know what? I don't want it to bump. This has a thick ridge. If I move it over too far though, I don't know how that's going to be with my frame. Unless I put the frame way up top. That may be what I have to do. I don't want to though. And I don't have a smaller frame. Well, I'm going to make it work because I want this knob and I want it. Well, we'll see what happens. If it doesn't lay flat, it doesn't lay flat. And I just lost my spot. And come on, this is pretty thick. Ugh. It's not through yet. I wonder if I wonder if this is thick enough. This is supposed to be a pretty heavy duty one. Let me see what happens if I can get this to slide. God, this is pretty thick. I may just do this and take a chance. No, I won't. This is too thick. Come on, I need to get this hole in here. I'm getting that knob on no matter what. Now I lost the hole I had started. Where'd the hole go that I started? Alright, I think this is it. Alright, I'm going to work at this. I may have to resort to a plan B, but I am going to get this hole in here, so I'll be back. So the discovery was there's a magnet right here, and that's why it's not going to go through. So my plan B is to go ahead and put the knob on this one, and then that will kind of act as a guide as to where to set this book, so it won't push off because the knob will be there. And then this will come off, and you can see the knob here because the magnets on this book are on the end. So this should work more smooth now that there's no magnet here, I'm hoping. So I'm just going to eyeball the center. Oh yeah. Now the only thing is you're going to see the other side of the screw, but I don't care. All right. All right, this is totally a process video because I've had to go back and do a couple things where I'm learning as I go. So here's the handle on this one. You will see the nail on the other side, but that's okay. So that's all I'm going to, well, that's not true. That's not the only thing I'm going to do on here, but I'm going to glue on this charm somewhere around here so it just kind of drapes off the book, but I'm going to leave that for later. This is all I'm basically doing with this one. So that's put to the side. So this one I discovered I could not poke the hole because of the magnets being there. So I'll just go ahead and start decorating. Went ahead and cut my paper for the inside, distressed it, and inked the edges. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this one in. I found some canvas lettering in my stash, and I'm going to use that and just spell out the word love on the inside here, so that when you take out the pictures or the mats, I don't know if I think I'm doing the accordion, like a accordion type booklet. I thought about doing individual mats, but I think it would be a little bit more exciting if it was the accordion. So I'm going to go ahead and glue in the word love right there, so I kind of have them placed where I want them to be. I might go back and add a little bit of ink to them just to kind of give them more of an aged look, but I can do that once they're dry. And then my favorite part is the front, decorating that, and I have some ideas. I'm just using the art glitter glue to get this canvas to stay down. The art glitter glue seems to work on pretty much everything. And now the E, I have my glue gun heating up again. So I would call this video a process video, not a tutorial, because it all depends on what you have in your stash and what books you're using. I can't really give you measurements because everybody is going to be using different size things. Oh, it's not dry yet. I should have waited, but I get impatient. Okay, so there's the love. There's the love. All right, so this is what was I going to say? It doesn't close. The magnets aren't working because of the paper, but that's okay. I'm going to be putting a heavier frame on here, and so that's going to push it down anyway. I've been playing around with what I want on the cover. For this binding, I'm going to go ahead and just put this. I don't want it to be exactly the same as the other one, so I want a little variety. So I'm going to go ahead, let's see if my glue gun is ready. It probably is not. It's coming out. So let me lay this down. And I'm going to go back and make sure I get all the sides to lay down. I'm going to snip off a little excess here. Okay, so once again I'm just going to lift up each of these little petal things and put a dab of glue so that it lays down nice. So I really like storage boxes so that you can put things in, whether it's an album or just mats or a booklet, a journal of some sort. And sometimes I make my boxes myself out of chipboard, and sometimes I'm just purchase pre-made and alter them. That's what I decided to do with this one, because there were 2 boxes instead of just 1. And sometimes you're in a hurry, and if the price is right, you got to go with it. So making sure these are all down. Okay. I may go back and run a that string of bling like I did on the other book down the center. I don't know. I don't know. So it's gonna look, it'll be like this on the sides, and then I'll have something dangling over here. I do need to put a piece of ribbon, lace here. Make sure I'm in frame. I'm going to be putting this frame on like so. So now it's just time to start layering up things. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down first. And again, this was from my stash, or should I say mini store. All right, and now I'll get the other pieces so that it lays down. And I'll run a bead of glue here. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure I have some coloring on the ends here, so it's not perfect color. So with the things I'm going to put on, I am going to put a frame, and I think this is a Recollections frame I had, and that's going to go here. Okay. I'm going to put a piece of this applique or that lace right there just to kind of fill in that spot. So leaving the frame there, I'll go ahead and put that down so I know where to put it. Okay. And I'm going to put a lot of glue on the back of my frame. Get that to stick. All right, that should be good. And I'm going to push down to make sure it stays. All right, so I will be placing this little girl right here, and I have a bike that's going to go here. So let me get the bike down. Being as I have my glue gun, I'll just use that. Okay. So now I'll get rid of some garbage. I'm going to put some gems or some pearls to dangle on the inside. So I'm just going to put those there and just add some, I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to add some glue and kind of lay them out randomly. You won't see the glue. Come on. Okay. And let me just make sure this big one stays down. Okay, now I'm going to set her down, and I don't need any chipboard behind her. I'm just going to put glue on the frame. So it'll be a little bit gentle because this is paper. And ouch, got me. Okay. I have a bird that I'm from this is from the Georgia Blues chipboards that I am getting these chipboard pieces from, and this is gonna go right there. A little bird. I don't really care for birds, but it's cute on this. Okay, just layer, layer, layer. Now I don't like how that is. I wonder if I should put a flower there, because I don't really like, let's see, so I have these leaves that are of a metal. And I have some blue and a little bit of white. And let's see. Do I want this flower there, or do I want like this applique? Nope, that doesn't look right. I'm gonna put a flower. Ouch. Okay, that'll hide the clasp that's at the top of that. Alright, so now I need to arrange my flowers. I'm going to go ahead and lay this leaf down. Okay. And I'm not going to put the other leaf down until I know I think I'm going to put this one down first so that I can get it in between her legs there. Okay. Now I'll put this one down. Yeah, that was smart. And let's see. I have more of these little brown colored flowers if I need it. That looks good like that, I think. All right. So some glue on the back of the white one. Yeah. And I'm going to put this leaf down. Ouch. Got some glue on me. Okay, now the blue flower. This one's a little bit more dimensional, so I just got to make sure that it sticks here. And then I'm going to tuck this flower right in here. So there's that. I'm trying to decide if it needs, that's probably enough. I usually have some sort of words on here somewhere. Let's see, does this need to go somewhere? Maybe right there. I think I'll put it right there on top of that piece of lace. So don't get rid of your little scraps. You never know when you can use them. All right. I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that, to be honest. And then it says, oop, I'm gonna have to put some glue in these because look at, they're curling. I have my glue gun. I'll just go ahead and give it a shot of that so that they lay down. I didn't know they'd curl like that. Good thing I looked before I turned my glue gun off. Oh, I'm not done. I want to put that charm on the other one. So that's what that looks like. Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. So before I turn off my glue gun, I want to see how this is going to sit. Okay, and I'm just going to put that here, but I need probably something to cover that maybe. I wonder what I have that I could cover that with. Let me search my stash. So then the next part will be the tag book and the accordion booklet. I'm going to go ahead and show you the process I'm going to go through to make the little accordion booklet that I'm putting in one of the boxes, in the smaller box. Again, I just want to make sure you know that this isn't really a true tutorial. It's more of a process video. So as far as measurements go, like when I make this accordion booklet, I'll tell you what the measurements are that I'm using, but you may have to do something different. So if you're doing it the same size that I am, you're going to need 2 chipboard pieces. And I cut that at 4 inches by 5, by 5 7/8. And then I cut out 2 pieces of paper to wrap them. So I just made them 2 inches larger on each side. To put the decorative paper on the top of those, I went 3 7/8 by 5 5/8, and you'll need 2 of those. You're going to need 3 papers for the accordion, and 2 of them are going to measure 5.5 by 11. So 2 of them at 5.5 by 11, score at 3.5, 7, and 10.5. Okay, 2 of those, 5.5 long height, and then 11 inches across, score at 3.5, 7, and 10.5. 2 of those. So I have those ready and scored and burnished. And then the last one, you'll just need 1 of these. It's 5.5 by 10.5, and you still score at 3.5 and 7. Okay, so I'm just going to put this together real quick. It's an easy one. I'm also going to give you the measurements that I use to cover these pages. I still want decorative paper on, even if you put a picture, and maybe, you know, you'll end up, I'll put something else on it. I don't know, but my mats for the accordion was 3 3/8 by 5 3/8, and I had 16 of these. Okay. So I've already cut these out. I've already used the ink around the edges. I'm going to put together my booklet, and actually I'm going to do the covers first. So you're going to want to put some tape on the back. Now it's not like a regular mini album, so it doesn't have to be, we're only covering one side because we're going to have paper. One of these is going to be attached to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and center it. I'm not going to be as picky. I mean, I still want it to look nice, don't get me wrong. But just wrapping it, just because I don't want to use the Prima paper to wrap around, just in case it were to crack, I always use the artisan cardstock. And I'm just going to eyeball this and I got off, but that's okay. Ooh, that's really bad. I should have had my ruler down to help me. And I'm going to go ahead and do that to the next one too. Just take off the backing and center it onto my paper. And this time I should probably lay something down so I get it more even. Alrighty. I was trying to use the grid on my mat here. I better lay something down. I like my... That's not an inch. There we go. Okay, much better. So now we're just going to do like a regular album, and we're going to miter the corners. I'm going to get my little tool that I have, if I can find it. There it is. And I'm just going to slice off those corners, just leave a little bit of overhang so that you can cover the chipboard without seeing the chipboard. And one more corner. Now I probably should have put the score tape on first, but I did not, but it'll still work. And I'm going to go ahead while I have this out and do the other one too. All four corners. And corner number 3. And the last one. All right. So just like any other cover, get this all stuff out of here. I'm going to go ahead and put score tape around. I'm going to go ahead and kind of fold that there. All right, so I'm just going to put some 1/4 inch score tape. I can't find the end. There it is. On the paper. And on the chipboard, the perimeter. On all 4 sides. Okay. Chipboard and paper. So this is the weekend before Thanksgiving. I always have to do it at my house, so I will have to get some grocery shopping done this week. I hate that part. And a lot of the stuff that I have to make is prepped the night before. My family's really good about bringing the sides, so it's less work, but found out my husband has to work till 1, so he'll be late, and he's usually a really super big help, so that's gonna stink. But I have a son who's gonna have to help me get that bird in the oven. All right, I don't think I'm gonna go to the time of putting the, well, I might as well. Nah, yep, I will. Okay, I took the fine tip off my glue because it needs to be washed and it kept getting clogged, so I might get too much coming out of here. I'll have to be really careful. Yeah, okay. And I'm just gonna fold that over. Now we still want about almost a 1 inch border, because when we put the paper on, you're going to see a little bit of this border. So a little bit here in the up against the chipboard so that the paper sticks real nice. And I'm going to do that with both of them. Now on these I'm going to tuck in those corners a little bit. I just use my nail so that it covers the chipboard. Just push in that paper. Light amount of glue there. Burnish. And I do the edges. So I hope all of you have a good Thanksgiving. Everybody has their own traditional foods that they make. We always have turkey, of course, but my daughter doesn't like turkey, so I bought a little bit of ham. Not that you care, but I'm just killing time here talking to you. Okay, so there's that side. And we're going to end up putting this mat on it, so that'll be our front cover, and I am going to use this as a pull so that when it's in the box I can just lift it up with this so that it's easy to get out of the box. I think you're going to want some sort of pull, otherwise it's going to be hard to get it out of that square, that rectangle. So have something that you put on top to pull it, okay? Whether it's a metal piece or what have you. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing here. You know what, I'll do this off camera being as you saw me do one. Let's go ahead and look at the accordion fold. So the first one we're going to do, you'll see that this is going to be attached to the cover. Okay, so when you attach it, you want to start with valley, mountain, okay, and then you're going to attach that 1/2 inch piece like so, and we're going to glue that. So I'm going to put some glue here. And I'm going to make sure I line it up and that it will fold. Okay. So there's one. See? And then this one, the last one, we're going to attach. That 1/2 inch is going to attach to the last one. So let me get my glue on the inside here. Oh, that's a lot of glue. I'm going to probably have a bunch of glue run out. Actually, I didn't have any. And I'm just pressing it real good so that it sticks. So you don't have to do 3 pieces. You can just do 2 if you want. But I wanted to be able to put more pictures. So it just kind of depends on how many pictures you have. All right. And then I'm going to center this right here after I mat it, and then I'll put the back piece and glue it onto that one. Okay, so I don't know if you want to see me do that. Actually, I'm gonna put all of my mats on first. Maybe I'll glue it down first. Let me think as I'm doing this back cover. I have no idea how long this video is. I've stopped it and started it so many times. I tried to avoid having you guys watch me do boring stuff, and I hope I didn't leave anything out that you were interested in. I keep saying I need to learn how to fast forward on when I put the videos together. I just haven't had the time to figure it out. I'm sure it's super easy, but if you do have questions, though, let me know. I think I said at the beginning that I got these books pre-made at Tuesday morning. You can use any kind of book box. But I just think they're really cool. Okay, let's make sure that's on real good. All right. Take the backing off. I am going to put a little bead of glue up against the chipboard so that the paper has a nice finish around the edges. Oh, let me kind of crease this. I almost forgot. Getting ahead of myself. And let's burnish that real well. Excess glue there. I like to do the sides. Then I do the opposite side next. Bead of glue and wrap. Burnish. Tuck in those corners so it covers. Wrap it around. Burnish. One more. Tuck in those corners. And wrap it around. So I'll go ahead and put the decorative paper on the outside of the covers next. And let's see. I did the same pattern. I think I gave you the measurements already, but in case you want them again, this is 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. I already put the ink, like I said. Fine line of glue around the edges. Mine's not real fine because I took off that fine tip cap. Center it on here. Nice. This paper is beautiful with that gold foiling. It really is sharp, and this blue is so vibrant. You know, I work with a lot of pinks and cream color, and I don't know, I don't seem to use that much blue, but man, this is so pretty. I might have to start looking for more blue. I was lucky to have a flower in my stash that was exactly the right color for my book box cover. What are the chances of that? Because most of my flowers are pink and white and cream, but I had some odds and ends that worked. Okay. Now you might want to use a ribbon of some sort to keep this closed, but it's not so thick that it's going to take up my whole box, and it's okay. It's going to be in a confined area. So like I said, I'm just going to use this pull. I'll probably decorate the front in some way. I don't know how yet. I'll probably add some lace that I have left over. So I guess before, I want to make sure that you don't have to put decorative paper on this side. Let's see. When I open my book, I want it to open like this. So I'm going to attach this, and I'm going to center it. I want to center it on my cover like so. So we have the same amount of border showing. So I'm going to put some glue on the back. And you don't want this coming off, so I might be a little bit more generous with the glue on this one. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. It just kind of make sure you get the corners. Okay. Oh, did I do that right when I open it? Yes. Ugh. Okay, I'm going to open that up and burnish it. There's a lot of border here. Oh well, that looks good. I like it. Okay, and I'll go ahead and put the back cover on, and I will put my decorative paper on the accordion off camera so that I don't put you to sleep. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put this one on. We want to make sure that the covers line up. So this one will be easier. Just put glue on this back page, and then we'll stand it up and make sure that it lines up right. Okay. And push it together. Press down, and then I'll open it and I'll burnish on the inside. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And there you go. All right, I'll go ahead and do the inside, and I'll decorate the cover, show you what it looks like. I'll put it in the box so you can see what it looks like when you open it. And then the only thing we have left is the little tag booklet. I have the graphic 45 tags that I'm going to use that'll fit in the big book. And that's just fun decorating. I'll probably just decorate one on camera, the rest off camera, and then show you the final thing. So, all right, let me get some stuff done off camera and I'll be back. Okay, it is tag time, and I have been spending the last couple, I would say minutes, it's been more like an hour or so, picking out different things for my stash that I think would look good on my tags to match the paper and kind of the theme and kind of that vintagey feel. So these are the graphic 45 tags. They are the regular ivory, and they come with 5, and they have a metal ring to attach them. And I have the die, the large die, to cut out from graphic 45, but these tags are the same width and everything. I just had to cut off some of the bottom to make them the right length. So this die was perfect for these. So like I said, I went through my stash. I have my glue gun ready. I'm just going to do one tag at a time. So my goal was not to overdo it. I wanted a common theme of those paper doll, those Tim Holtz paper dolls for a vintage look. I wanted just a little bit of texture, so a little bit of thickness, not too much. The one I have up here is going to be the thickest, so that will be the top of the book. That'll be my first page. So on this first one, I just found some ephemera. I have this bike in the background from the paper, and so I found this boy like he's leaning up against something, so I'll have him leaning on the bike. I have a button and some ephemera, kind of like a doily butterfly, and then the words "fabulous memories." So that's all that's going to go on that one. Being as it's a boy, I don't want it to be too crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the boy with my art glitter glue. I have my glue gun ready for the dimensional stuff, but I'm just going to use this stuff. Will hold, probably would hold some of the other stuff too, but so I just want to make sure I position him right so he looks like he's leaning up against the bike. You don't want to be on the seat. Nope, down here. Okay, that works. And I'm going to have fabulous at the top. I want some balance, so I don't want all the words in the same spot. And I don't care if they're totally straight. And then I'm going to do memories on the bottom right-hand corner. Okay. So then next I'm going to put this ephemera, and I don't want it exactly straight. I'll do it kind of crooked or cockeyed, diagonal. Okay, and the button, just to get some of that blue, that one I am going to use a glue gun. Just put that there on the corner. And then the butterfly, it's a gold color, so it's not super feminine, but I like the vintagey feel to it. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do with that one. Okay, like I said, I don't want that one to be too much with the boy. Now on the back, I just put paper and that was it. Okay, so that one's done. The next one, I kind of wanted a mom and pop one, or a married couple. So I found some ephemera, like I said, and I'm just going to do some layering. And for the dimension on this one, I just found a metal frame that's got adhesive on the back, just to, you know, add some interest. And I found some of this film strip. So let's start gluing these down. These go really fast. And like I said, I left the backs with paper on them, but I chose kind of plain paper so that if people wanted to write on the back, they could. Okay, and then I'll do the tickets next so that the people appear in front of all that. Perfect. Yeah, the hard part is picking everything out. I've been sitting here taking it out, putting it back, grabbing a bag of stuff, putting it back. But I think I'm finally happy with what it looks like. Now, because of the dimensions of my book boxes, I ended up putting the accordion fold album in the bigger one, and then this is going to go in the smaller one. So I found out the hard way that I had made the book too big. So I'm trying to decide if I want this on here. I don't know that I do. I think I'm going to put that off to the side. I'll decide later. So this is just going to sit up here like so. And I think I'll put hot glue on this one. I feel like this needs something though. I feel like it needs something in this corner. So let me see, what do I have? I have a lot of stuff. Now I do, you know what? I think I'm going to just add a little soft touch. I have some gold self-adhesive pearls. And I'll just cut a little piece off. Just real little. Let's see. Which piece do I want? I'll do it right there. So I think that's what I'm going to add just to give it a little flair. Felt like it needed something. You know, I'm really bad at taking these off the plastic. They always get out of shape. Well, it wasn't too bad. Okay, so there's that one. And then I'm going to put the ring, and there'll be a bunch of seam binding at the top. So 2 down, 3 to go. Those tags come with 5 in it. Okay. The next one, this one's probably going to be in the center of the 5 pages because of the dark blue background. So that one is a lot different than the others. So to balance it out. So again, let's see. This one was kind of like a school themed. But I feel like, you know what, I might cut this in half and add some to this. I feel like it needs something to help it pop a little bit. This needs to go higher. That'll work for me. So I'll trim this off. All right, so for the layering, I need to do this swirl first. And I'm not sure if I love this swirl, but because it was such a dark background, I felt like I needed to lighten it up a hair, and that's why that's the purpose of this. Okay. And overlap it with this certificate. It says perfect attendance. And the girls are going to stand on top. So do I want the pearls overlapping their legs or standing on it? Okay, I want the pearls at the very bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and put my hot glue on so I know where to position the paper dolls cutout. Ouch. Okay. Girls next, and then scissors. So if you are not interested in this part and you're fast forwarding, I'll do a quick walkthrough of the finished product. I am going to do a separate video of a walkthrough, but I will kind of give a real quick general peek at the end here. So if you're not interested in seeing my thought processes while I do this, you don't have to. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit so that you can see better if you're interested. Where's my zoom? That's probably a little bit better, I would think. And I'll just kind of put the scissors like so. This gets the hot glue gun. I don't want it on my finger so that it burns me. Okay, so there's that one. And the next one, I need to add some coloring to this. This is too stark, so I need to make it a little bit more vintagey looking. So I'm just going to take my sponge here that I use on the Tim Holtz color, and that just lightens it up. That's much better. Okay. All right, so I have a soft touch of lace down here at the bottom. So let me just get some glue down here for that. And get that in there real good so it lays flat. It's not really what oh, she'll be there. And then I'll add her on top here. Okay, so that's that so far. Now I do have this little teapot button, and I'm just going to cut off the backing to it and just put that next to her. Kind of goes, and not that you'd have, maybe it needs to go up here, down here. I'm going to put the teapot last because I don't know really where I want it. Okay, this frame. Up here, oopsie. Okay, this does have a sticky back, But I'm just going to put glue on the frame on the diagonal. So I'm going to put some glue here to help it stick, and here. Okay. Is that weird to have a teapot down there like that? Maybe it should be up here. Like she's inviting somebody over for, I think I'll put that up there. Let's see if that's gonna stick. So now I do need something down here, and I'm trying to decide what, maybe some of those swirlies. Is that too much? What do I have? I have a lot of stuff to choose from. I have just a little, I don't really like that color. I just have a basic pearl, so it looks kind of feminine. I don't really want a flower, but that looks weird just by itself. That's not going to work. What do I need down there? Well, I'm at a loss. So that I'm going to have, oh wait, maybe I just need to add, no, that's too much. I want that on here though. All right, let's think. What do I have? So I have a jar that has a bunch of doodads. Let's see if I can find anything random. Oh, these are pulls. That's not gonna, that is not the junk drawer. That is the knobs. Maybe it's this one. Where I just throw things and think, oh, I'll use this later. Okay. So I have this trim. Too much, too thick. I just need something kind of subtle. Here's a metal piece. Too much. Well, darn it. I have a thimble. That's old, but oh, I should do that with the scissors, but that's going to be too thick in the book. Well, I'm not finding what I need here. I may just have to go back to it in the end so I don't bore you to tears. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. 'Cause I don't know. I have a little bit of flat back pearls here. Just ran. Yeah, I'll just use that. What the heck? I don't even know if you'll see it that well, but just across the bottom. Just set. Yep, I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. Don't burn your fingers. All right. So there's that one. And I just have one more. And this, like I said, is the thickest one because of this metal flower that I have. This one is just going to be real simple because I like this pattern up in the top and I don't want to take away from it. So I'm going to have this overhang just a hair so you can see that it's a tag or like a flag or banner. And I think that's all I'm going to do. Put them here. And do it like so. Okay, let's get started gluing everything down. I don't want it to overhang too much because my book is, the width is just going to be perfect. Originally I didn't think the tags would fit, but they do, so I don't want to push my luck. Okay. So I think I'll do this next so I know where to put these beads. Move it in. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. All right, so let's glue this down. I love this flower, this metal. Okay, and we want to just tuck that there. I like it. I don't like burning myself though. Ooh. Get all the glue strings off. All right, so that's all I'm going to do on that one. Like I said, I want the focal point to be this paper in the corner. So I think I will have this one, then this, those two similar, yeah. Maybe I'll start with this one and go to, I put all my kids on the same side almost. It's okay, I'm gonna put the blue one second. And then I'll do this one, then this one, then this one. And I'm just going to put the ring through it. I'm just going to add a whole bunch of seam binding on the ring here and just let it flow. And I'm going to get it wet and crinkle it up in my hands. So let me do the wrap up of the seam binding that I'm going to put on there. I have some different colors that will match. And then I'll just kind of show you a quick overview of my final product. So I'll be back. So I thought I'd do a quick run through of the final project. These are the two books that will be stacked on top of one another. This is the one that ended up holding the accordion album that I made just because of size. So you can see that I used the knob from the store and I had some lace from my stash. There's the side. Hung a charm with some of the chipboard elements on the top corner and the bottom corner. But then this is going to, I see some strings from the glue. This is going to hold this album. Okay. And this is how I decorated that. I put a pearl pole. I have some lace trim from the store, some real pretty bling chipboard elements, just real simple. And then that opens up into your accordion booklet. Okay, and it's got paper on both sides. So that just sits real nicely inside. You could add other stuff in here too because there's extra room. And then this is the final top book. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I hope that I didn't bore you too much with my process and thinking out loud and having to change things, but sometimes I think it's good to see how people work through the crafting steps and how they change things as they go and make it work, and just kind of the thought processes. So normally my videos are more tutorial based rather than process, but this one was just kind of hard with people having different size books and boxes and that type of thing. So there's the front chipboard resin frame, some pearls, flowers, metal leaves, the paper doll girl. And then when you open it, you're going to see the tag book inside. Okay. And I just added some seam binding to the ring just to add some color. And I did change the order after all, but then you can just flip through the booklet. And you can add, there's plenty of room, depth that I could add more tags if I needed to, because there's plenty of room there to do that. So And that's just going to sit right like so. And then you're going to stack these at an angle, so the knob and these pieces up in the corner and the bottom corner kind of help decide where you're going to lay things. So you would just lay it on a coffee table sideways like so. And this is what the side would look like. And then the other side. And then the top view. All right. Well, thank you so much for following along. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Like I said, I think sometimes it's good just to see how people work through the crafting process, using stuff in your stash along with new materials and how you can get everything to work. So I really appreciate you stopping by. I hope you subscribe. I will be having more tutorials. We will be participating in another hop coming up here real quick too. So I certainly enjoy doing this, and hope that if you have any questions you feel comfortable asking, just leave them in the box down below. Not the box, but just make a comment down below. And I really appreciate you visiting my channel. So everybody, it's the weekend before Thanksgiving. Have a great Thanksgiving, and keep crafting. Have a good one.